Shalom, Akim. This is Brother Azariah. I want to start by giving all the praise, all the honor, and the glory to Yahweh, by Hashem, Yahawashi, Yahweh being the true name of the Most High God, and doing so in the name of His only begotten Son, who the world knows as Jesus Christ, but we know it to be Yahawashi, and He is the Hamashiach. All right, what I want to do is get into a little lesson on dealing with fulfillment, just understanding fulfillment. All right, and certain things, not everything, but certain things that Yahawashi has completed. Right, he has fulfilled, because this one gets our quote unquote modern day Christian in Christianity brothers and sisters a little tangled up when they try to understand. They think that, okay, so Yahawashi has completed the things done in the law because he's fulfilled it by getting on the cross or being crucified, and so everything is completed, so therefore we don't have to complete the law. But that's a false understanding given by our oppressors. A narrative that's been taught to us that is false doctrine, that has not anywhere been established. So let's real quick go into fulfillment. All right, fulfill.
All
right, and it goes into fulfill, a verb meaning to accomplish, satisfy a requirement, or carry out a duty. Right, often used in context like fulfill a promise or fulfill a role. So just off of that definition alone, if we say that the law is completed, right, because it means to carry out a duty, that means that there'll be no more works to be done. And that's exactly what the oppressors have taught in this this Edomite supremacy doctrine that has been pushed for eons, slavery times, that has carried on, and has carried on as a psychological impact on has been made as a psychological impact in our minds, even subconsciously to this day, that no matter how hard Jake tries, they can't shake it out, right? Unless the Most High, through a Mashiach Yahawashi, awakens them to see the light and be converted. All right, so you deal with this aspect to carry out. I'm going to Merriam-Webster's dictionary real quick. To put into effect, to meet the requirement of, right? To measure up to, right? To bring to an end, because it can cause something to end when you fulfill it, when you do the duty, right? It's no longer a task on your checklist. So let's get to one that is a simple one that Yahawashi brings up, but this is what trips people up in Matthew 5:17. Think not I am come to destroy the law or the prophets. I am not come to destroy, but to fulfill. Even we'll get the Strong's definition, right? To fulfill.
Strong's G 4137, plerao.
Plerao in the Greek. All right, to make full, to fill up, to fill the full, right? Supply, render full, to complete. So we can get an example, and it will literally tell you too, certain things. So let's look at it. For example, if we go back a couple chapters, Matthew 2. Now when Yahawashi was born in Bethlehem of Judea in the days of Herod the king, behold, there came wise men from the east to Jerusalem, saying, where is he that is born King of the Jews? For we have seen his star in the east and are come to worship him. You see that? So they already knew. This is written, right? This is written in prophecy prior, because they knew. They were asking him, right? He was inquiring, where is he that is born King of the East? Right? So they had to know Yahawashi was coming. All right. When Herod the king had heard these things, he was troubled, and all Jerusalem with him. And when he had gathered all the chief priests and scribes of the people together, he demanded of them where Hamashiach should be born. Right? So this is Herod, an Edomite, gathering the Jews, right? Because he's asking the people of Jerusalem, asking the Israelites. Why? Because they'll know the prophecy. And when he had gathered all the chief priests and scribes, the priests and scribes of the people together, he demanded them where Hamashiach should be born. And they said unto him, in Bethlehem of Judea, for thus it is written by the prophet. And thou, Bethlehem, in the land of Judah, art not the least among the princes of Judah, for out of thee shall come a governor that shall rule my people Israel. All right, now let's go over here as written in the prophets, right? Let's go to the book of Micah, chapter 5. Now, gather thy yourself in troops, O daughter of troops. He have laid siege against us. They shall smite the judge of Israel with a rod upon the cheek. But thou, Bethlehem, Ephratah, though thou be little among the thousands of Judah, yet out of thee shall he come forth unto me, that is to be ruler in Israel, whose goings forth have been from of old, from everlasting. Right? Therefore will he give them up to the time that she which travaileth have brought forth, then the remnant of his brethren shall return unto the children of Israel. See, that's prophecy being fulfilled, right? That's prophecy. These are things that are just taking place to happen because it is written for it to happen. And what? The Most High's word goes not void. See that? That's why they're saying he's in Bethlehem. All right, so this is why Herod, in verse 8, he sent them to Bethlehem and said, go and search diligently for the young child. And when ye found him, when ye have found him, bring me word again that I may come and worship him also. So basically, let me know when he's there. So when you find him, I can go ahead and kill him, right? Do just like they was doing the time with Moses. All right. So they see these things taking place, and we see obviously other children being slew in Bethlehem because of this prophecy, because of this. So they're killing others, killing other children, right? And most probably predominantly men, because we know the Messiah is a man, right? Obviously they knew the king would be a man coming out. And when, just like they did in the time of Moses, they weren't killing a maid child. They weren't using their time and effort to kill the woman, not because they, couldn't be of a threat, but because the threat would be of a man, that this prophecy and these things would happen. They would do that because the lineage goes through a man. So as you see it, we'll go here in verse 22. But when he had heard that Archelaus did reign in Judea in the room of his father Herod, he was afraid to go thither. Notwithstanding being warned of Yahweh in a dream, he turned aside into the parts of Galilee, and he came and dwelt in a city called Nazareth. And it might be fulfilled which was spoken by the prophets, he shall be called a Nazarene. All right. Let's get into a couple of examples. Starting with the book of John, chapter 12 and verse 35. Then Yahawashi said unto them, yet a little while is the light with you. Walk while ye have the light, lest darkness come upon you. For he that walketh in darkness knoweth not whither he goeth. While ye have light, believe in the light, that ye may be the children of light. These things spake Yahawashi, and departed, and did hide himself from them. But though he had done so many miracles before them, yet they believed not on him. That the saying of Isaiah, right, Greek word or Greek name translation for Isaiah, the prophet, might be fulfilled, which he spake. Lord, who have believed our report, and to whom have the arm of Yahweh been revealed? Therefore they could not believe, because that Isaiah said again, he had blinded their eyes and hardened their heart, that they should not see with their eyes, nor understand with their heart, and be converted, and I should heal them. These things said Isaiah when he saw his glory and spake of him. All right. So we're seeing Yahawashi had to fulfill. This is an example of something that Yahawashi fulfilled. Right? Isaiah the prophet might be fulfilled. The miracles that were done. Let's go there real quick. Let's go to who have believed our report. It's the book of Isaiah chapter 53. Who have believed our report, and to whom is the arm of Yahweh revealed? See, it's future prophecy dealing with Yahawashi. And another, because here's the thing, people who subscribe to being a quote unquote Old Testament only, this is why you can't even be an Old Testament only, because you're leaving prophecy unhinged, unfulfilled. Things that Yahawashi did do walking on the earth. What now? These things would have to be done, and if we're pending the time of the day of the Lord, think we're gonna have time to do that? So we're just going to have unfulfilled prophecy. So, you got OT, quote unquote, OT only people saying that, of course, there is no Yahawashi. They disregard the validity of the New Testament. So then there's prophecy that still has to be fulfilled that hasn't been all around. And you have, quote unquote, modern day Christians that believe he completed everything. But but there's still more prophecy to be fulfilled and being fulfilled. See, so this is what it was going into. Verse 3, he is despised and rejected of men, a man of sorrows and acquainted with grief. And we hid, as it were, our faces from him. He was despised and we esteemed him not. Right? And that's dealing with, too, the miracles, the things that Yahawashi did, the report that everyone kept making, right? Go, hey, go talk about it. This man out here from Bethlehem, Galilee, this man right here, he's doing his doing these works, all these wonderful miracles, raising people from from out of death, bringing them up, right, healing them. This is stuff that was prophesied to be fulfilled. This is what you would call a fulfillment of the law, because it's fulfilling prophecy that was foretold. All right, let's get another one. If we go to the book of Zechariah, chapter 11. And let's start here. Verse 10. And I took my staff, even beauty, and cut it asunder, that I might break my covenant which I had made with all the people. And it was broken in that day. And so the poor of the flock that waited upon me knew that it was the word of Yahweh. And I said unto them, if ye think good, give me my price, and if not, forbear. So they weighed for my price 30 pieces of silver. And Yahweh said unto me, cast it unto the potter, a goodly price, that I was prized of them, or at them, Salakia. I was prized at them. And I took the 30 pieces of silver and cast them to the potter in the house of Yahweh. Then I cut asunder my other staff, even bands, that I might break the brotherhood between Judah and Israel. See that? So the time of Zechariah, with the atrocities, the abominations being committed, the brotherhood between northern and southern kingdom, right, being broken. And that's why Yahawashi would come. His purpose and his first time would be to break that enmity, to be the sacrifice to break that enmity between those of the chosen, or the elect, and the elect. Let's go to the book of Matthew, chapter 26, and verse 14. Then one of the 12, called Judas Iscariot, went on to the chief priests, said unto them, what will ye give me, and I will deliver him unto you? And they covenanted with him for 30 pieces of silver. And from that time he sought opportunity to betray him. All right. So we see there was the 30 pieces of silver in Zechariah that would be used to betray Yahawashi. So let's go to the next chapter, right over. Matthew 27. When the morning was come, all the chief priests and elders of the people took counsel against Yahawashi to put him to death. And when they had bound him, they led him away and delivered him to Pontius Pilate, the governor. Then Judas, which had betrayed him, when he saw that he was condemned, repented himself and brought again the 30 pieces of silver to the chief priests and elders, saying, I have sinned in that I have betrayed the innocent blood. And they said, what is that to us? See thou to that. And he cast down the pieces of silver in the temple and departed and went and hanged himself. The chief priest took the silver pieces and said, it is not lawful for to put them into the treasury, because it's the price of blood. So that's the bloodshed to bring Israel, Judah and Israel back together. All right. So let's go get one more. We're going to get one more prophecy, another thing that fulfilled that was needed for Yahawashi to be around. There's plenty more, but we are going to close the point out here in Psalms 34. And I'll go to 19. Many are the afflictions of the righteous, right? But Yahweh delivereth him out of them all. He keepeth all his bones. Not one of them is broken. This is David prophesying of Yahawashi. See that? Now let's go. Even 22, Yahweh redeemeth the soul of his servants, and none of them that trust in him shall be desolate. Yahawashi was not desolate as he rose, right? We know that he rose on the third day. Let's go to the book of John. Chapter 19. Verse 31. The Jews, therefore, because it was the preparation that the body should not remain upon the cross on the Sabbath day, for that Sabbath day was an high day, besought Pilate that their legs might be broken, and that they might be taken away. Then came the soldiers and brake the legs of the first and of the other which was crucified with him. But when they came to Yahawashi and saw that he was dead already, they brake not his legs. But one of the soldiers with a spear pierced his side, and forthwith came there out blood and water. See that? See that? And he saw, I'll keep it going. And he that saw it bear record, and his record is true. And he knoweth that he saith true, that ye might believe. For these things were done, that the scriptures should be fulfilled. A bone of him shall not be broken. And again, another scripture saith, they shall look on him whom they've pierced. So we'll stop it right there, because basically you should get the point. These are examples, and Lord willing, you get the point. I'm not saying that to be, contentious or sound like an a-hole or anything, but that's pretty much the gist of it. Yahweh Shamashiach fulfilled things in the prophecy, or let's say the Old Testament, right, that were done. These were prophecies that were fulfilled. Doesn't mean that everything is done. For everything to be done, that would mean things written such as him coming back would have had to been fulfilled already, meaning he would have, like a lot of the Jews, a lot of our people that suspected when he came down that time to take back for the kingdom of Israel, to take the kingdom of Israel, to take back the kingdom of Israel and that glorious kingdom that was prophesied, the everlasting kingdom. They were thinking it would happen then, but we know that's not the case. It wasn't at that time, right? So we have to, we think about these things and analyze these things and, meditate on these things for wisdom, knowledge, and understanding. And, we understand that, our people, Salakia, our people were taught, otherwise, to be misled into a false understanding of our holy scriptures. But now the Most High, Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahawashi, is calling us to repentance, right? And I missed the Isaiah prophecy where, I believe Isaiah 6:10, where, he hid our people's eyes, their hearts are hardened, right? So they don't have the ears to hear. But, now Yahawashi is saying that he have an ear, let him hear, right? This is the thing. And I'll close it out with that, matter of fact. There's plenty of them, but let's go. Revelation 2:17. He didn't have an ear, let him hear what the Spirit saith unto the churches. To him that overcometh will I give to eat of the hidden manna, and will give him a white stone, and in the stone a new name written, which no man knoweth, saving he that receiveth it. All right. So I hope this was edifying. I want to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahawashi. Peace and salutations to the hopeful elect that are scattered throughout the four corners of the earth, that are learning and or teaching his gospel in truth and sincerity. Until next time, Yahweh willing, Shalom. Shalom.